Have your food, energy, and shelter prices gone up in the last while? Well, you're not alone. Everybody seems to be experiencing the same thing. And in today's video, I'm going to show you, number one, where that's affecting people the most. I'm going to give you the details of where this is all coming from and how we've come to this place. You came here for the truth, so let me unveil that for you. Today, we are going to look first at the income a family needs to live comfortably in the United States. And of course, you can see if you're in California, it's a very different picture from some of the other states. If you live in New York, same deal. Understand that, of course, there are salaries and there are always going to be expenses, and they sometimes level out, but for some people, they can't take it anymore. They are up to the gills in expenses, and they are starting an internal migration we haven't seen in a very long time. So you could look at this right here. The darker the color, the more expensive it is, and it's shocking. And this has all happened, at least a big chunk of it has happened in the last several years since 2020. Look here, the death of the dollar store. And when I was reading through this, I was thinking to myself, wait a second, I know the dollar stores and they're more popular than ever. But what is happening here is that they are changing because they're not a dollar anymore. I know you've seen it yourself. I mean, sure, there are some out there, but what's happening? The dollar stores are becoming these variety stores. You could buy food there. I mean, soon you're going to be able to get prescription drugs there. I mean, who knows, right? It's getting all over the place, but the 99-cent part, inflation has taken care of that. So that's really what this is all about. Nearly 80% of Americans now view fast food as a luxury. I mean, I've covered this before, but I think it is important to highlight what this really means. And that is basically people who used to have what would be, a relatively small sum. I'm going to get $5. I'm going to go to the McDonald's or whatever. I'm going to buy some food. You can't really do that anymore. And even their $5 menus or $5 options that they were going to bring in just recently, they've said, oh, that's going to be temporary. Then there was backlash. We'll see what happens, but if you're going to get something for $5 now, it's probably going to be the size of a toy. So who knows what that's going to do with all that shrinkflation. Hard target, streamer films, walkthrough, the most dangerous target. We're talking about the big box store in the US with armed security, warning coming to a store near you. What we have seen here, bringing it all around, is that this stuff has become too expensive. This stuff has become, basically just showing us how difficult things have been for so many. And at the same time, how lucrative this type of business is, especially in a place where they know they're not going to get in trouble. And if they do, it's a little slap on the wrist. But you work hard. You are the one that's trying to save. You are the one that's trying to be prudent. And look at what's happening. Look how they devalue your currency each and every day. This is intentional. Food inflation fears rekindled as crop index erases 2024 loss. Looking at the Bloomberg agriculture spot index. Okay, so it's indirectly, what you'll see at the store. But just understand that if there was any sense of relief coming, that's gone, unfortunately. Here we have contributions to the rise in super core CPI services inflation year over year. And I just want to show you this because of the breakdown. Also note that super core and CPI and PCE, I'll give you a little more of a breakdown in a second in another chart. But I just wanted to make it clear that no matter what chart we look at, it's never going to be accurate to what you and I experience. That's never going to be accurate, but it is accurate in itself. So if we track this month over month, we could see what's happening, right? Look at the CPI car insurance and home insurance. They've gone berserk. So this, at least for the car insurance, right around 2022, this started to go wild. Now, look, everything goes up. We know that everything goes up, but the trajectory it's going on, the rate, the pace at which everything is speeding up happens to be correlated with the amount of money that they printed. And yet, these whatever, there are individuals out there that you will hear that tell you that printing money doesn't cause inflation. It is, what do I say? What do I say about that? I mean, it's ridiculous. Gen Z teens largely put the brakes on driving, signaling seismic shift in US car culture. There are different reasons for this. I think people, they're waiting longer to get the cars. They say, hey, why do I need it? Maybe some areas have better public transit. There's no real need for that. But let's be honest, the biggest contributing factor here is, my goodness, it's expensive. When you talk about the car itself, you look at the insurance costs on top of that. You see the gasoline prices. You see the maintenance on all of this. It's too much. And so some are saying, forget it. I mean, I remember when, the friends in high school had their birthdays earlier, and that means they got their cars earlier, and we were allowed to then, go off and drive. I mean, that was an amazing thing. But things have changed, clearly. What do you think about that, by the way? I'm interested to know. How does the PCE weigh items compared to the CPI? So I just wanted to give you a breakdown of this. You could pause it, or you can go to the link in the description to get it. But I just wanted to show this to you because you always hear these different terms, and you could see none of them are accurate, like I've said. And then just one little quick thing. Water systems warn Americans could soon see major rate hikes to filter out toxic forever chemicals. Another level of inflation, the only one that I probably would vote for, okay? There's just too many chemicals out there. So if they were actually able to get rid of it, and of course you got to do your own filtration regardless, because from there to your house, it's quite poisonous. But I'm still in favor of it being removed. They should have been doing this a long time ago. Here we have it. What's being done overall is the devaluation of the currency. We pay the price. We pay the price each and every day. So what can we do? There are things that we must do every single day. And I think it's important to note those. Let's talk about that right now. Number one, you need to save on groceries whenever you can. This is essential. Why? Because can't do anything without it. At the same time, how are you going to save on groceries? I mean, I talked about it all the time. There's the produce terminals. There's talking to your farmers. You can go see the Amish or Mennonites, depending on where you live. They have usually very reasonable deals, and they also come into the cities to then sell their products. Okay, that's another thing. Buying in bulk. There's all kinds of these stores that are a little bit less known, but you can buy in bulk that way. Those are just some things. When it comes to energy, I talked about this in 2020. It depends. But in 2020, it was very obvious that the price of energy was going to go like crazy up. And I had people here on this channel, I was telling them, get your price locked in. Get it locked in. And there were people that did that and then came back to me and said, I'm so happy that I listened to you. I got that locked in. And if I didn't get that locked in, I would have been ruined. I would have been finished because they are so tight on their budget and the price had gone crazy in 2020, if you remember that. Now, you got to be mindful of that. You got to always watch it because if suddenly then things go downward, then you don't want to get on the opposite side of that. But sometimes it's very clear. And in 2020, it was, and I'm so grateful that I had that voice to share with people. If you were one of those people, please let me know down in the comments. Always love to hear that. And of course, do what you can each and every day to try and increase your income. How can you do that? You can build an online business. The way I do that is through having physical products. You can also do digital products as well. Depends on what you're into. Having physical products. You might say, hey, things are getting more expensive. People don't have the money. Why would I have a physical product? I always use the example of Tupperware. Tupperware is that one product where you might buy that, but the intention is that you want to save money over time, right? That's what Tupperware is. I'm not saying that you should sell Tupperware. I'm just saying that that's just one example of something that you would buy and then you would use many, many times over so that you can then save money. So it's not just a matter of, nobody's buying anything. It's that they're more, as the Walmart CEO once said, being choiceful. Okay, I hope this information was beneficial to you. Thumbs up if you agree with that. Okay, that really helps me out. If you want more information about how to build a business online, I have the #1 way to do so. Link at the top of this description down there. Click it, go through it. If you want more information, just email me, contact through there. I'll see you tomorrow. Take care.